Religious? Are you guys together, yeah?
Yeah.
Are you religious or not? Not religion? You don't believe in a creator?
I don't know.
So how do you explain the existence of the universe? Do you believe that something can come from nothing?
No. But
No.
I don't think.
Sorry?
I don't think I'm qualified to answer that question.
No, but why do you kind of, I would say, belittle your own intellect? Why you don't think you have the capacity to answer a simple question? I think it's a simple
I do
question.
think I have the capacity. I just don't have the knowledge yet to answer it.
Do you know, let me put it this way, do you know of anything that comes from nothing? By nothing, I mean no energy, no matter, no space, no quanta, nothing. Do you know of anything that comes from nothing?
No.
Okay, so it's the answer to the question, yeah? If we do not, do you know, look, nothing itself is not something, right? Nothing is the absence of something.
Yeah.
If you have 0 plus 0 plus 0 plus infinity of zeros, would you ever have something?
But just because I don't know doesn't mean it doesn't exist.
What doesn't exist?
Anything.
But yeah, it's like I'm talking somewhere, you're talking somewhere else. You know?
No,
What's your name? What's your name?
Zico.
Ezekiel.
Zico.
Zico.
Yeah.
Okay. Look, Zico, I'm saying, look, try to focus on what I'm saying, right? Because I'm feeling you're being a bit defensive, like you're kind of pushing away what I'm saying without even getting the point that I'm saying, right? I'm saying if you have 0 and you multiply that 0 ad infinitum, 0, if you multiply that 0 ad infinitum, we're talking mathematically, would you ever get something? Because nothingness, it doesn't matter how much you multiply it, will always remain nothingness. There is no agency, there is no power, there is no quanta, there is no space. How would you have something arising from nothingness? That's logically impossible. You get the point? So if the universe we have today has a beginning, then it's logically impossible to claim that it comes from nothing. Because nothing comes from nothing. And literally the universe is not a conscious entity, right? Space is not conscious, matters is not conscious, which means it cannot move and act by itself. It requires a cause in order for anything to happen. Would you agree with that? Don't worry about it. Do you agree with what I'm saying, or what do you think about what I'm saying? If you disagree, tell me why you disagree.
I personally think that just because we don't know the answer yet doesn't mean that the answer isn't there.
But I don't know the answer to what? We are just given the answer already, so we know the answer. Why do you think we don't know?
1,000 years ago, you couldn't explain the weather, but now we can. So who knows what we can explain in 1,000 years?
But you're saying 1,000 years ago we couldn't explain the weather.
As an example. Yeah.
But what we're talking, because to me, what you're just repeating is what some people repeat today. You're talking about the physical world. What some atheist scientists repeat today, specifically Richard Dawkins and these likes of him, right? You're talking about the physical world. I'm not talking about the physical world though. So science, you know, science is a study that is limited to the physical world. Do you know that or no?
Yeah.
Right? Science is the study of the physical world, natural world, through experimentation, repeatability, and falsification.
Yeah.
That's literally what science is, right? So science does not go into the realm of metaphysicals. Science cannot measure my love to someone else or my hatred to someone, right? Science cannot deal with my consciousness. That's why we have the hard problem of consciousness today in science. Because consciousness is something which isn't physical. It cannot explain my first-person subjective experience. What it is to me to feel the taste of strawberry or chocolate, what it is to you to feel strawberry and chocolate, science cannot explain that. Because it's a metaphysical experience, literally. Do you get the point? There's nothing physical in which you can put under a microscope or in a lab and it could produce results for you. So I'm talking now about a question of God, which is in a metaphysical realm. So it's not talking about the weather, something is physical that you can reach an understanding of later in the future. So these, I believe, are two separate things. So there is no link between them. I'm talking now about the metaphysical, which is something you can only learn about using your consciousness and intellect. And science has to rely on mathematics and intellect and deduction and logic, or science would not even work. Do you know that?
Yeah.
So science requires intellect and logic. So we are using intellect and logic to come to the conclusion that the creator is there, which is what we have done. We cannot have something from nothing. 0 plus infinity will always give us 0. Therefore, we need something that is always in existence to bring about other things and cause them. So when I gave the answer, you said to me, just because we don't know the answer doesn't mean we can reach it. But I'm giving you an answer already. So I don't understand why would you say that? What is illogical about the answer I'm giving?
I don't know, not from what I know. I personally think that just because I don't know it, I'm conscious of the fact that I don't know it.
But
I'm
I think,
willing to accept what I don't know.
but I think you just repeated what you said again, right?
No,
I'm trying to ask you that
Because you said it's subjective, right?
What is subjective?
The connection you feel, basically, to the metaphysical space.
I didn't say that, no.
That it's your experience, unique to yours, and that what I experience is unique to mine.
Oh, no, I'm saying, I'm talking about the capacity of science to explain first-person subjective experience.
Yeah.
But I'm not saying God is subjective. These are two separate things. So I'm saying science is limited there. It cannot explain the first-person subjective experience. But I'm saying that God exists whether we are here or not. So it doesn't rely on our first-person subjective experience. Like, for example, humans had a starting point on Earth. Do you agree? We didn't exist forever, did we? Do you agree? Do you think we exist forever? Do you think we're eternal, ever living? Come on. No one says that. We don't exist forever, right? So before us, there was a universe. So that is what we say God created. It's irrelevant if we exist or we don't exist. There is something that brought the universe into existence. It does not depend on our existence. So when I first talk about first-person subjective experience, it's irrelated to the idea of God. I'm saying in the logic I gave you that you cannot have something from nothing. Therefore, the universe requires something external to bring it into existence. It cannot come from nothing. It requires something to bring it into existence. What is illogical about that idea?
I don't know, for me it's based on the assumption that there was ever nothing.
But we're saying there was never nothing. We're saying there is always something, which is Allah. Because if there was ever nothing, we're saying there will never be something. That's what I'm saying literally. I'm saying if nothing ever existed, there will never be something because nothing will come about. But I'm saying if there is something today, then there was never nothing, which means there was something eternal. You get the point? So I'm saying whatever brought the universe into existence is something which is eternal. So far we agree that there is something brought the universe into existence and it is eternal. So these are attributes of what we call creator or God.
Yeah.
So then we agree, yeah? Okay.
I suppose, yeah.
Okay, so no problem. So you're saying that the creator, which is something that is not like the creation, brought the universe into existence. We're saying in order for you need ability that we cannot even comprehend as humans to compress an entire universe into a singularity and expand it afterwards. We say that you require an amount of wisdom that we cannot even comprehend to have these laws that govern the universe that we have, laws of physics, laws of gravity, electromagnetic waves, even these trees. They give you oxygen, they take your carbon dioxide. You do the exact opposite. This ozone sphere is 0.004 carbon dioxide. You get the point? And we have not designed these things. These laws are within the universe. These gravitational constants are within the universe. And we say whatever brought the universe into existence is what put these laws within there. So it has wisdom that we cannot even comprehend as humans, right? So we are saying that entity that created the universe that has these attributes, we use the name Allah for it. Why do we use the name Allah? Because Allah in the Arabic does not have feminine or plural. Like God, goddess, God, gods, right? Allah is genderless. It's a word that is not restricted by gender. You get the point? And Allah is beyond anything we can conceive of. We don't have pictures and images for Allah. We believe Allah is completely unique, right? He doesn't have children. He doesn't have parents, grandparents, wives, grandfathers. Allah is not like that, right? And He's independent. He created the world and He's independent of what? We depend on Allah. Allah does not depend on anything or anyone, right? That's why we use that term, because it's unique. And we also believe in messengers. Jesus, Moses, Noah, Abraham, Adam. We believe these people came to tell you and me what is the purpose of this life, why we're here, what's going to happen to us when we die. Like, for example, how do you determine what is right and what is wrong? Where do you get your morality from?
Those are all personal values.
Personal values.
On upbringing, where you live.
Sure, excellent. So then you would say they are subjective, isn't it?
For sure.
So if you were born in a different country, you would believe different things about moral life, right? So we're saying if this is the case, then in essence you would be saying there is no morality.
Yeah.
Because the same thing can be right or wrong just depending on where you're born, right? But Muslims say, no, there is objective morality, and that objective morality is not dependent on where I'm born or where I'm not born, right? It is determined by that which made you. Like if I make this phone, or if I make a phone or a machine, I would know about it more than anything else or anyone else, right? So we are saying that the Creator created us, He would know more than anyone else what is good and what is bad for us. So then it becomes an objective moral framework, not based on my desires. I might want to do something, but that something might be bad for me, right? And I might not want to do something while it's good for me. But if it comes from the Creator, I know that what He tells me to do or not to do is objectively a moral right and wrong, because He made me. He knows me more than I literally know myself. You get the point? So the Quran is that objective framework, moral framework that is coming from human beings. Because we believe this life is a test. And if you do good, you'll be rewarded. If you do bad, you'll be punished. But in order for me to do good, I first need to know what is good and what is bad. So God has to send you messengers in order for them to make clear to you that, okay, this is good, do it, and this is bad, avoid it. And if you do good, you'll get reward. If you do bad, you'll be punished, right? So then no one can have an excuse later on and say, oh, I didn't know. Why are you punishing me? I didn't know that this was wrong and this was right, right? So that's why the messengers come to tell us about the Creator, right? And the Quran is that message to human beings. So what do you think about this whole thing I'm saying? You know, does it make sense? Is it illogical?
I personally can't relate to the
Which
idea
part?
of objective morality.
You can't relate to idea of objective morality. So you don't believe that raping an innocent woman is bad.
From my personal standpoint, yes.
But maybe if you're born in a different country, it would be good.
Maybe.
So it's not really bad.
Or like in a different age or whatever.
So I'm saying it's not really bad. It's not really bad to have intercourse with your own mother, because it's just subjective
From
thing.
my standpoint, it is.
No, I'm saying it's not really in reality bad. You only believe it because you are told to do so in your society.
Yeah.
When you're saying my standpoint, your standpoint is only come from other people who convince you this way. If you're born in a different place, you'd believe other things.
Yeah.
And so in essence, you're saying it's not really bad. I'm just told that it is bad by my parents, therefore I believe it's bad.
That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that's my standpoint.
That's okay. Let me ask you this: where does your standpoint come from?
From my surroundings.
Would you have believed these things without your surroundings?
I can't answer that.
this is what I'm saying. You know.
I don't know.
Okay, this is what I'm saying. So I'm saying, in essence, you're just saying you believe what you believe because you got it from your surroundings. And if you were in a different place, if you were in a different time, you believe otherwise. So it's possible that you would have believed that it's okay to have intercourse with your mother, which I believe some people in Texas are doing now. And actually they go into court. So if maybe you're born in Texas, you believe something else, right? So what I'm trying to say is this. Your disagreement is proof that you believe no, it is objectively wrong to do that. You believe it is wrong, objectively wrong to rape and to kill a baby, to rape an innocent woman. You believe these things are objectively wrong. That's why you're fighting
They're
against.
wrong for me, yeah.
No, I'm saying objectively. Whether you're there or not, they're still wrong.
Yeah.
Because if I believe it's okay and I do it, is it okay then?
What do you mean?
If I believe that raping and stealing and killing, etc., is okay and I do it, is it okay then?
I disagree with you, but that's...
So it would be okay for me.
But I would respect the fact that that's your...
So if I wanted to kill you because now I'm doing whatever I want to do in my subjective morality, you would respect the fact that I want to do that.
I mean, I would accept the fact that you think that.
Okay, but
I wouldn't agree with it, obviously.
but the point is, you still have to accept that this is morally right for me, and I should do it.
Like, I
Do you see
can't
how
say to
ridiculous
you,
it becomes? Do you see how ridiculous it becomes, right? This life becomes meaningless. There is no justice. There is no right. There is no wrong. Anyone can do anything if he believes it was right. In essence, you would say that what the guy who killed all of these Jewish people it was okay. What he did was right. In essence, you'd be saying what he was doing, he was right for him. What Stalin did was right for him.
I believe that he thought it was right, yeah?
That's what I'm saying is right for him, right?
Yeah.
I believe it was wrong for him and for everyone else. It doesn't matter what he thought, right? But you say exactly, but you don't believe in objective morality, so you can say exactly. Do you understand what I'm saying? I don't think you get the point I'm making. I'm saying, look, you cannot make moral judgments on other people if you believe in subjective morality. You only can make moral judgments if you believe in an objective morality that does not only come from you. Because if you...
My judgment is mine.
Yes. No, but your judgment, I'm saying you cannot use it to make it over on other people. You use your judgment on other people. You can use it for yourself.
Exactly.
So, but if you say what Hitler did was wrong, for example, then you are using your subjective morality on other people, not only on yourself. You get the point? It doesn't make any sense if you believe morality is subjective. Then you have no right to say what he's doing is right or wrong. All you have to do is say, I believe so.
Yeah? You can say it.
Yeah, I understand. Of course you can say. Of course you can say. But the point is this, right? What we're saying is this: as Muslims, we believe there is right and wrong in this world. We believe it's not okay to have intercourse with your mother. That's what we believe as Muslims. Objectively, it doesn't matter where you're born. Yeah. We believe it's not okay to rape innocent women. Doesn't matter where you're born. We believe it is not okay to do evil in the world, whether you're born in Pakistan, in Morocco, in Asia, in China, it doesn't matter. It is objectively wrong, and it does not depend on your ideas and thoughts, because your ideas are, as we said, are manufactured by your society and your community. It's not even entirely yours. They are biased and based on where you were born. So it doesn't make sense to say there will be no reason to follow them. You just do whatever you want to do. Because even when you say it is wrong, where do you get this idea is wrong? Just your people told you it's wrong. It's the whole reason you're saying it's wrong.
It's not just them telling you, it's my own process of interpreting it, my own...
Where does your own process come from?
Myself?
Is it not coming from the influence of your society, of what they taught you, if you went to school, what your parents taught you when you were young? Of course it's coming from there.
It's all part of it, but it's
That's
not
what I'm saying.
just my surroundings, it's also my own brain, my own...
So what about your brain telling you that it is not okay to have intercourse with your mother? Tell me. Give me the logic. Why is it not okay to have intercourse with your own mother? Sorry, I'm giving crude examples, but I'm trying to deliver the idea, right? I'm saying now, which part of your brain that is not from your culture, that is telling you that it's not okay to have intercourse with your own mother? It's okay. Look, I don't want to stay on it. I don't want to stay here. Look, my advice would be the following. Look, sometimes, that's what I personally think. Sometimes we disagree with certain things because we want to disagree with certain things. Like some people, I believe there's two types of people. I've been doing this for a long time. I've been talking to different types of people. Some people are open-minded. If you give them evidence, they will believe. And some people don't want to believe in God. It doesn't matter what you will tell them. It doesn't matter what you bring forth to them. They have made up their mind that they're not willing to practice this or to do this or to follow this, right? And we don't believe that we force our ideas on other people. I would rationally have a discussion with you like I just did, right? And then I will leave the choice in your hands. If you want to read, obviously, I can't force you to read, you know? If you want to read, if you want to investigate, if you want to think about it when you're home, you're sitting with yourself, then that is your choice. If you do that, and it makes sense to you, then you can follow it. If it doesn't make sense to you, then it's between you and your creator, right? We say that this is the truth. We have evidences to show that is the truth. And we say that when you die, there is punishment, there's eternal punishment, and there's eternal reward. So there is accountability for what we do. So we believe we can escape God for now. We can play games for now. Not escape God in a way because God still has control. He's leaving you. You can escape the idea of following God for now. You can do whatever you want to do. But one day you are going to leave this life, and there will have to be accountability on the deeds that you do. And that is the message of Islam, you know, nothing less, nothing more. Did you take one pack or you don't want?
Not for me, no.
Okay, no problem. Anyways, I'm glad you gave me the time. Appreciate you giving me the time to allow me to explain and talk to you, you know. And if you need anything, come back, you know, can ask any questions. Over here, obviously, or both of you, you know. Nice talking to you guys, yeah? Nice talking to you, yeah? No problem, my pleasure, yeah?